What if your pain became a platform? What if your creativity wasn't just an outlet, but a strategy? My guest today is Jennifer Odufuwa.
Everything was going on well, but then I lost it. And I was suicidal.
Oh, wow.
I was suicidal. I didn't have my business anymore.
A visionary strategist and entrepreneur behind Thrive Beyond, Tantacom Group, and Culinara.
I said Tanta. And then we were like, okay, we wanted it to be a communications company. We weren't even clear about the whole thing. We just wanted more. And we didn't have any money, but we wanted more.
From redefining how we connect with food to leading women back to strength after adversity.
My circle is pretty small because I need to know how to cut through the noise. I need to know how to stay true to my authentic self. And if I want to keep remaining aligned, I need to not always be talking
with impact and turn bold ideas into thriving platforms. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming.
I'm honored.
You look amazing.
Thank you. You do as well. I love the hair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
So I want to talk about the fire within you. The first fire. So I guess we'll be dialing back a bit. What life experiences sparked the vision of Thrive Beyond?
Thank you. 10 years ago, I lost everything. 10 years ago, before then, of course, I had everything. I had a business. I had, everything was going on well. But then I lost it. And I was suicidal.
Oh, wow.
I was suicidal. I didn't have my business anymore. I had lost a lot of my friends. I was broken. I was broke. And I didn't even know how to pivot. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to navigate. And I didn't even have a place to live,
Oh, wow.
So, yes. And then one of my friends was kind enough to get me a place to stay in her younger sister's house. And there I was for 6 months. And I was just in that bubble, in that space, thinking that I didn't even want to live again. But at some point, I just thought, you know what? I can't keep crying over spilled milk. I have to move on. And more importantly, I have to know exactly what I want to do with my life. And at that moment, I made up my mind that I was going to forge ahead. And that was it. And I took baby steps. And I started my business, Tantacom. I formed my company, Tantacom, in partnership with my friend, and took baby steps.
But was this the same friend that lent you a place to stay?
No. Okay. And took baby steps, and we started to grow the brand, Tantacom. We started to build it. And then over the years, while I was rebuilding, a lot of people that knew about what happened to me kept on asking me questions. Jenny, how did you do this? And, as we normally do it as Nigerians, it's God, but I realized that a lot of people they were also in that space, and they needed to know actionable steps that I took to get myself from where I was, broken, suicidal, to where I was at that moment. So I got this question over the course of 10 years. And then I found myself having to speak to people that, this is what I have to do on a daily basis. This is where I have to have my head. These are the kind of people I had to surround myself with. And early this year, I realized that, I guess a lot of people are still either stuck in that same space, or they're on that journey and they don't know how to pivot and navigate and just deal with all those kind of issues that I dealt with. And then I believe that I went through those issues just so that I could be that voice of reasoning and that voice of encouragement to let people know that irrespective of what must have happened to you, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be stuck. You can still fulfill purpose. You can still dream big. You can still achieve all those things that you've wrote in little black book that you're going to achieve, irrespective of what curve life throws at you. You can still do it only if you're able to do these things. And then I found I found myself talking to people, and then that was what birthed Thrive Beyond, because I found out that there was a gap, and there were people that needed to hear this, and there were people that needed to dream again and know that okay, if Jenny could do it, I could do it, and just tell them my life story, tell them how I was able to get myself out of it, and just help them. So it's a movement. It's not a brand. It's not just a platform. It's a movement for resilient women that have gone through adversities, that are stuck or they're on that journey to just trying to fulfill the visions that they've had for themselves, and they've not been able to because they don't even know how to get up from that, what they've experienced in life, and they feel shame and they feel loneliness and they feel whatever it is that they're feeling. I've walked that road before, and I'm just using that platform to let them know that they can get there.
A lot of people go through painful circumstances, situations. Some, um, of course, oftentimes it's life just happens. Some, it's by your own doing, but painful regardless. Yeah, but turning that pain into, it's almost like it's also like now like life's purpose. How do you learn to do that?
Well, that's a very good question. I didn't learn to do it. And so when I encountered everything that I encountered, I I would first of all like to say, God is always in the midst of it all, you know. Whether you're going through a season, I call it a season. And those are some of the things that I got to realize that, you know what, whatever must have happened to you was a season in your life. And there was something within those years that God just needed you to learn. And then I was able to do some audit. I had to do some audit. I had to take responsibility for the things that I thought I was doing right. I had to unlearn. So a self audit, like being honest with myself. Jennifer, this is where you are now. Take responsibility for the things that you had done and wasn't good enough. And then how do you change that narrative? How do you change and be better? So I started leaning more towards just being honest with myself, and then being able to begin to love myself, because I realized that one of the things that I didn't do was I didn't put myself first, and I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself, and I wasn't listening. I wasn't surrounding myself with the best set of people. So I had to redefine that. I had to redefine my habits. I had to redefine my faith. I had to redefine my the people I surrounded myself with. I had to redefine a lot of things. It took me a year to even begin to dream again. I had to work on myself. And I mean, working on yourself is consistent. It's a constant endeavor. It's not something that you take out 2 months and work on yourself. I'm still working on myself. I'm still, every night I go to bed, I still do a recap of, what I have done during the day. And I just always want to be the best version of myself. And then, those are the things that I just had to redefine and realign. So it's more of realignment, redefinement, and then just understanding that these habits that I had in the past wouldn't take me to where I truly am supposed to be. And I had to begin to dream again. I mean, for a moment, I couldn't even dream. I couldn't even, if you had asked me the question, Jenny, what are you going to do next year? I didn't know. I didn't know how to see beyond that day. It was really bad.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know because, I mean, life took everything from me, and I just didn't know what to expect from it anymore. So I couldn't process what my future held. I couldn't even think about it. I was scared. I was worried. I didn't even know what to get myself into so that I wouldn't fail. I felt like a failure. So I mean, I had to audit myself. I did a lot of self-awareness. I told myself the truth. I did it. And then I kept listening to the word of God, promises of God for me. And, that kind of like just gave me the hope and belief that, okay, even though I felt God was silent for a very long period of time, because I prayed, I did everything, but it wasn't like, it's like God wasn't picking up my call. I called and he wasn't picking up my call. But I still believed that there was something more to me than what I was going through or what had gone through. I just had that little spark of belief right there in me. And that just gave me the courage to be able to take a little baby step forward, to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to try. It took me a while to get there, but I'm going to try and I'm going to see what God has to do this time around.
Let's dial way back.
Okay.
Way back.
Okay.
Have you always been entrepreneurial?
So when I was in the UK, I'd always loved to look good. Even when I didn't have anything, I would still, even if it was something fairly used, I'll buy it, dust it off, iron it, and just wear it.
Yeah.
And then so back in the days, my friends, I would wear something, and my friends would want to know, where did you get it? I'll be like, Woolworths, or it was from Next, or it was from this, it was from that. So I'd help them buy, and I'd help them just show them where to get it done, and it's kind of like a personal shopper for my friends.
So were you earning from this, or it was just something? It
was just something I did. Right. I didn't earn from it, but of course, I covered all my costs from everything that I was doing. I made sure I wasn't.
Of course, now if you're shopping for me now,
I made sure that I wasn't.
But you weren't earning. It wasn't.
It wasn't a business.
So how about maybe while you were in secondary school as a child, were you? Would they have seen you as she likes money? Were you always entrepreneurial?
I wasn't always when I was in secondary school. So the UK was a secondary school, the end of secondary school. But when I now got into uni,
Right.
I would go to, so one day I was walking past the shop and I saw this fairly used shoes, and it was for I think 200 or 300 naira, and it looked so good. And then I would buy them in hundreds, and myself and my friend then we would buy them in hundreds and then take them to school and then actually sell them. We sold them for like about 1,500, and this was in like my year 2000, 2001. I will sell them, and then so yes, we did repeat that cycle, but not for so long because of course, I didn't do it for very long, but I know that we did it for like a couple of years, like I think 2 years. And then that was the only entrepreneurial thing that I know that I did when I was in uni.
Because the reason I asked, you mentioned that while you were going through this, you became someone who could not see past that day. So I'm wondering how did you get past? How did you learn to dream again? Because you really cannot make anything of yourself if you don't see yourself in that place. So how did you get out of someone who couldn't see past what was happening in the moment to becoming someone who dreams, who builds, who's never short of ideas, who's now constantly, in fact, who's now planning years ahead? How did you move from there here?
Okay, so first of all, I didn't have a choice. I don't think life gave me so many choices. I didn't have a choice because I have 2 boys.
Were your kids with you in this friend's house?
First of all, my kids weren't with me.
Okay.
I didn't have my kids weren't with me for like about a year and a half. Yeah. So I think God just gave me that space so that I could start again and be able to afford to be able to care for my kids.
Okay.
So I needed that time to recalibrate and be able to get myself out of where I was, which wasn't going to be healthy for them anyways. So the fact that I'm responsible for 2 children, I didn't have a choice than to pick up the pieces of my life and understand clearly that, Jennifer, you've been thrown into an ocean of water without any lifeguard, without even knowing how to swim. You're not going to drown because you have those two children. Because if you drown, what happens to them? So for everything that is happening in your mind and with you right now, you have to pick up those pieces up, pick them up, and learn how to swim while you're in that
So
ocean.
your children became your anchor.
My children, that was all. I wanted to be the best mother to them, irrespective of what had happened. I wanted them to see me and see a woman of strength. I wanted them to see me and see that you, irrespective of what happens to you in life, do not ever, ever, ever give up. No matter how hard you fall. I wanted to be that voice of reasoning to them to say, okay, you know what? I'm falling. I'm going to get myself back up. I'm going to dust myself, and I'm just going to keep going. Now, I didn't know where I was going. So that's another thing. I just didn't know where I was going, but I just knew that I couldn't stay in that space. I knew that there was more to me than whatever had happened to me. So my children gave me that strength to just start again. My children.
So when you felt weak, you just think of these children.
I just think of my children. Like, what would Nathan say? Would he say that you went through this and then you ended, your life ended because of this challenge? Yes, it's a challenge that could easily just send you to a psychiatric home. But I want my story to be different.
Right.
I want my story to be different. And I feel that really just reconnecting back to, just reconnecting back to God and just really understanding, his promises, that it's just the promises of God, basically. I mean, that kind of also gave me hope, even though I was like, God, have you answered all this prayer, all this well, but it kind of like gave me that hope to just give me that strength to also just keep the journey, keep carrying on with the journey. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you started a business with a friend.
Yes, I did.
Tantacom. What do you do at Tantacom?
So Tantacom is a 360 marketing, communications, and project management company. And we redefine brand experiences. It's also a government-led company. We do a lot of government-led initiatives, rather.
Right.
Yeah. And then we also, redefine brand experiences for corporate bodies, and that's what we do.
So while you were in that, you were in your low when you started this.
Mm-hmm.
What were you hoping to achieve? What was Tantacom supposed to be for you?
Now, at the moment when I started my first my own event company. It's called the Bloom Event Company. And I remember the day I made the announcement and I just posted the flyer on my Facebook page. Everybody was happy because it was so long. It took me about almost a year. And everybody was happy.
These were people that knew your story.
These were people that knew me and kind of like I'd heard a little bit about what happened to me. And everybody just kept on sharing the flyer and all of that. And I remember just before we did the flyer, a friend of mine came to me and said, Jenny, what do you intend to do with your life? I said, I don't know. And she was like, you've done events all your life. You've done events for 8 years.
Also, the business you lost before was also an event business.
It was an event business. It was.
How did you lose it?
So I was in partnership with my ex.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So once the marriage broke, obviously every other thing broke.
Every other thing goes.
Interesting.
And ended. And then, so we were into events, decorations, event planning, and all of that. And so I had that experience, and that's what I'd done for like 8 years. And then, so she had said, check what you intend to do. And I was like, I don't know. I can't do events anymore. It would be competitive. And she was like, but
Who cares?
that's all you've done your life.
That's your skill set.
That's your skill set. And I was like, nah, I want to do something else. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then she was like, you know what? Just do your events. And I was like, okay, you know what, God, I want to do events. I don't want to do social events because that was the space we were playing in.
Okay.
I don't want to do social events. I didn't even know what kind of events I wanted. Just unique events. I'm saying this was 2015. I want to just do unique events, whatever unique event means, that's really what I want to do. But I don't want to do weddings. I don't want to do birthdays and all of that because it would mean that I'm competing with my past. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be in that space.
To move on.
I really just wanted to move on. And then, so I decided to start my own event company, and it was the Bloom Events. And I posted it, and everybody was super happy. And the first inquiry that I got was one of my friends who worked in an agency and said, Johnny, Etisalat is doing something, and I want you to do it. And I was like, I don't even have anything. I don't have an office. I don't have anything. And she was like, you have you. You are you. And that was when I realized that, you know what, I'd lost everything, but I had so much in me. And it reminds me of the story, an analogy in the Bible, the widow with the jar of oil, and pretty much needed to pay her debts. And she just was dismissive at first when the prophet came and said, what do you have with you? And she was like, she doesn't have anything. And then eventually she realized that she had the jar of oil. And as little as that jar of oil was, she didn't think that it could, it could be filled and fill into. And for me, I didn't think I had anything because I lost everything. But I had everything because during all the many years of my working with Hewlett Packard and working with Maersk Line and working in this event management company, I had gained what nobody could take away from me. And even though I didn't have a car, I didn't have an office, I didn't have money, I was broke, I had that experience that no one could take away from me. And that's why one of the first jobs that I got was for a company like that. And I brought my A game on and I did it. And I made like 300,000 naira. It felt like 300 million. I just felt like my life had changed with that 300,000. And then the next job I got was from one of my friends as well that said, Chenny, Dangote is doing AGM. And she worked there. And she said, you need to come and do it. And I was like, AGM? I don't even have anything. And then I went, I crushed it. I did the AGM. I did the end of year. I did a part of it. It wasn't the full event. Told me to supply a couple of things. And I did it. And then so after doing that for a couple of companies, my partner also had her company. And then we had said,
Also an event company.
And we had said, you know what? We've been closed for like about 8 years. And we've been through all of this together. Why not let us collapse what we have and then do more? We wanted to be more. We didn't want it to just be event planning and all of that. And then so that was how we decided to collaborate. And that's why I still go back to that analogy from the widow with the jar of oil. But whatever you have in your hands, I feel that collaboration is her even just getting all those jars of oil and pouring it because she didn't have it. She didn't have those jars of oil. And she got them. And the more she poured, the more the jars kept on getting filled. So my collaboration with Funke helped me to be able to do more things that I couldn't do by myself. But because I had that support system and because of all that I was dealing with emotionally, mentally, I needed to have someone by my side, someone familiar by my side, and then someone that could just complement my strength and all of that. And she was just the perfect fit. And then we sat down on the bed one day, and then we just came up with the names, and we just decided my Yoruba name is Tanwa, hers is Taibat, and we just said Tanta. And then we were like, okay, we wanted it to be a communications company. We weren't even clear about the whole thing. We just wanted more, and we didn't have any money, but we wanted more. We wanted to do more. We wanted to be more. We wanted to solve more problems. So we wanted a company that could solve more issues. I mean, having the event company seemed as though I just felt limited. I didn't know, I just felt, yes, I felt limited. And I wanted to do a whole lot more. And then so we decided to start Tantacom. Yeah.
You know, this is so powerful, especially the angle of a lot of people feel stuck. A lot of people truly do not see themselves, appreciate what they have. In fact, they don't even feel they have anything. They wake up every day, do what they're told to do at work or whatever it is. They show up for their responsibility, and they don't know that with everything you do, with every doings, is adding to your reservoir of building your skill set. And
Absolutely.
it's like value constantly deposited in you.
Absolutely.
So it took you understanding that, everything I actually have, you were fixated on the results.
Exactly.
You were fixated on, we've done this event, we have an office at so place,
Yes.
we have this here. So even when a job came to you, you could not at the time embrace it because you felt you didn't have what it took to do it.
Exactly.
This is powerful.
I know, and I always tell, the Gen Zs in my company, I always tell them that I know that you're of the thought process that, when you're being told to do some certain things, you might just feel it's beyond my pay grade, or it's not my responsibility. But the truth about it is that yes, it's not your responsibility. Yes, it's beyond your pay grade. Or how are you even going to be able to grow? Like all these things, just like you've said, all these things
it builds you up.
Builds you. Soak them in. Use it as an opportunity. You're in the midst of people that are super driven, very goal oriented, you should grab every opportunity that you have and then let that build you. Maybe.
And you know why? You truly never know when that thing will save your life.
Exactly.
So it's not enough for you to just stay within your comfort. Comfort zone doesn't do anything for anybody, really. What expands you is doing things that test you. Self, don't you want to know what you're capable of, what you have capacity for? So imagine all of those things that stretched you. Even when you couldn't see, God sent somebody to remind you that you have it in you.
Yes.
Then you took that up and
it.
you killed it.
I took it.
So the jobs continued to flow from there.
To flow. And I feel that I think it all starts also in the mind. I think we all need to be very sensitive to the kind of things we listen to the kind of people we surround ourselves with. You don't want to surround yourself with people that when you speak about your vision, they kind of like try to make you shrink. You want to be in spaces where even when you talk about your vision, it's small.
Like,
it's like
you need to be challenged.
You need to be challenged. You can't. And I'm speaking to your comfort zone that you mentioned, because you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. These are things that we don't like to be stretched. Till this moment, with this podcast, I'm being stretched. And that's the honest truth. If someone had told me this year that I would sit right here and be in a podcast with you, I would have said, never. I'm not doing that. I would say, no, I'm not going to be in front of a camera and talk about my life story. But here I am. I'm being stretched. I'm not in my comfort zone. I'm doing the uncomfortable things because I know that this is what I need to do. So it's important that wherever we find ourselves, first of all, the growth mindset is very important. If you have a growth mindset and you know that this is where I need to do, whatever it is that you need to do to get yourself to that space, you have to do it, irrespective of how it makes you feel. You work out, you go, you lift 100 kg. It's going to be painful. But eventually, after a couple of months, you're gonna look
Soft
good.
work.
You're
Even
gonna look
becomes
good.
the funny thing is it becomes easy.
I know.
It will be painful at
It will be
first.
painful.
If you continue, it becomes easy. Then you need to move again.
Exactly. So, and that's life. The more you grow, the more you overcome those pain, those challenges, the more you stretch, then you stretch into where you're really supposed to be. Once you get there, there's already another level of stretching waiting for you, except if you don't have a vision. It's always going to be like this, except if you don't dream. I know where I want to be by the time I'm 50. And I know that in order for me to get there, I'm going to stretch on a lot of levels. And so it's important for us to just be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's just part of life. You just smile through it all. You're tired, but it's fine. I'm okay. I got this.
So it's okay if you don't smile. You can cry
It's-
through it.
you-
Just do it.
Yes. Yes.
Just do it.
Just do it. You have to do it. You have to do it.
You know, it's very inspiring listening to your journey, your story. From I don't know if it gets lower than what you've been through.
I know.
You know, from that level to now, you have Tantacom, you have Culinara, and you are now empowering women through Thrive Beyond. What would you say are the foundational lessons that has helped you to a point where you're moving ideas into platforms?
I think it's important for you to be able to see where you're going. Because the truth is, if you don't know where you're going, when those opportunities to get you there come, you wouldn't know.
Right.
You wouldn't know. So say, for example, I'm going to give you an example. Our office in that Tantacom office that we have currently, I'm sure the person that bought the property had bought it, I think in 2000 and I think in 1999 or something. I'd walked by that place so many times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just never knew that eventually we were going to have
Be
that.
there.
I was going to be in that space. I'd walked around. I'd come into that estate to visit people. The property was there, the building. So that's to tell you that there's so many things that you're walking by on a daily basis that actually belong to you.
He's waiting for you.
But you don't know.
For when you are ready.
But if I didn't have the dream, if I had stayed where I was 10 years ago, I say, I can't move forward. Oh, I can't. I can't just, and I had kept crying over spilt milk. And I didn't make that decision to want to start all over again, irrespective of not knowing what to do, how to do it, or having what it took to do it. If I had stayed in that space, I would have still, till today, I would have still kept on walking by that building, not knowing that that building was mine. So what I'm trying to say is that if you have a vision for where you want to go, irrespective of what you're walking by, you would finally locate these things one way or the other because you're going somewhere. You're dreaming. You want to achieve this. You want to achieve that. And to add to that, before we settled on that particular building, for 6 months, we had looked for a place that we wanted to be in. And all the doors were shut because we were making decisions based on where we were, the money we had, what we could afford. So that's why I'm saying you have to always have a vision of where you're going. Because eventually, what will happen is if times are based on certain decisions, something would shift, something would happen. I think it's God-centered. It would happen and make you make a decision based on where you are going, not really. So I found myself that I've always, irrespective of where I find myself, I've always made a decision based on where I'm going because I know where I'm going. I see it. You wake up in the morning, you have to visualize where you want to be in the next 5 years, 10 years. So I see myself there. And so because I see myself there, there's some certain things that I do on a daily basis. There's some certain opportunities that I'm able to see and be like, I'm going to go for this opportunity because it aligns with where I'm going in the future. And so so many of these properties were shut because apparently it wasn't good enough for where we were going, and we were disappointed. I mean, we would get a place, and then they had spoken to the agents. They had said, "Oh, we're going to pay," and then the next moment they're like, "It's not available again," or the people within the premises said they don't want a corporate entity, and I'm like, what happened? I thought you spoke to them, but this space was a 2-bedroom. So God knew that we were not a 2-bedroom company. I'm telling you. But we were only thinking about what we had in our hands to pay for the space. And eventually, we got this particular space. So what I'm just trying to say in essence is, have dreams. Have your vision. Write it down. Let it be bold. Let it be clear. See yourself in that space. Every day you wake up in the morning, pick the vision board and see yourself sitting in that space. Things would work. Because you're seeing yourself in that space, opportunities will come. You will take those opportunities. Some might not work. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. You move on to the next one. And then by the time you carry on like that, you will find out that your life will begin to align with the vision of where you see yourself. And slowly and gradually, you'll get there. Honestly.
This is so powerful. What I hear you say clearly.
Yeah.
We need to stop limiting ourselves.
Absolutely.
With now.
Forget about where you are now.
We need to stop making decisions based on now.
Don't.
We need to make decisions. We need to base our decisions, our actions, based on where you are going. If I hear you correctly, this is very.
I'm telling you,
this is profound.
Difficult. I haven't said it's easy, but the moment you have that mind shift, I promise you.
It's a space. It's you prompting your spirit into a limitless space, because what you are challenging us to do,
Yes.
you are essentially saying that make your decisions based on, make it based on what you clearly do not have, where
Yes.
you want to go.
Yes.
Because things will align for
They
you.
will align, but they're not going to align for you if you keep playing small in your mind. It's hard.
It's confusing.
It's confusing.
It's not
and
just
that's why
hard.
it's confusing.
In fact, it's counterintuitive.
I know.
Because we're taught to
Yes.
budget. We budget based on what we have.
I know.
We plan our lives based on what we they say live within your means.
I know.
Right?
I know.
We play within what we have. They say cut your coat according to your, not your size, to the material you have.
That you have.
But what you are saying essentially is, where you are going is that you want to wear agbada,
Yes.
but you only have 2 yards. But you need to make decision. You need to find the tailor that can make you agbada, not the one that can make you shirt.
I'm telling you, honestly.
And as you are going there, somehow, that agbada is going to come out.
It will come out. It will come out.
This is
That
amazing.
has been my philosophy about life, and that has been what has helped me to grow my company, to grow myself mentally. And that's why there's some conversations that I cannot be a part of. There's some spaces that I cannot be a part of.
Okay.
And there's some spaces where I cannot be in. And there's some spaces, because when you see clearly where you're going, and you also have to be very stubborn about it. Because people will try to keep you where you are. I mean, our culture, everything, and that's why you also need to be careful.
They need to know where to find you now, so stay there. Stay there.
That's why you also need to be careful about the kind of conversations you have with people as well.
Right.
because, and imagine, see Joseph from the Bible. He still got to where he wanted to get to, but he had that dream ages ago. And I just want to use that as also an analogy, because even though he had that dream, even he spoke to his siblings about it, they tried to kill that dream. But one way or the other, through the pits, through the dungeon, through everything, he got there. He got there. Honestly, irrespective of the lows that he experienced. And I want to also say that those lows that he experienced was building him. So it's not to say that the journey is going to be smooth. You're going to encounter huge lows. It's going to be very deep. But what are you learning during that season? Are you just crying over spilled milk? Anytime, even early this year, we encountered a low in our business. And immediately myself and my partner were like, what is God trying to teach us? What do we need to learn? And then we decided to begin to redesign so many processes, build systems. It was a 3 months break, and things were not, and we were like, we need to, and then we started deciding on what we needed to change, what we needed to replace, what we needed to do. What were we learning from that season? What are you learning from that low time? Because where you need to go, where you are, that comfort zone, I'm going to go back to that comfort zone you mentioned, it can't take you there. That your mind, where you are currently, cannot take you.
There's not there. You're already here.
Exactly.
Where you are is here.
Exactly.
So you need to literally push or take a step to go there.
That's it. That's it.
It's profound.
Thank
So now you're building 3 ventures. For now.
Thereabout.
You're building 3 ventures.
Yes.
For now. How do you stay grounded?
How do I stay grounded? That's a very good question. My faith.
Okay.
Personal development. Putting myself in spaces where I don't feel small. Surrounding myself with people that don't make me feel small. You have all these big all these big sisters. Aburo mini, aburo mi kini. Those people that just know how to just make you feel. They just diminish all your efforts and just make it feel so. And you have friends that are just like. They just find a way to just make you feel small.
They minimize
you. They just say one thing. It might just be a phrase, and they just make you feel really small. Nah, I don't have friends like that.
You cut them off.
I cut them off. Nah, not even. And after what I've been through, I cut them off. And it's important that, my faith has kept me grounded, my belief in God, just knowing who I am as a child of God, understanding clearly his promises for me, understanding that, God is just the center of it all, and and that's why my circle is pretty small, because I need to know how to cut through the noise. I need to know how to stay true to my authentic self. And if I want to keep remaining aligned, I need to not always be talking. I need to not always look at what is happening as a woman. You want to share this, you want to share that, and because people are always going to have their opinion, and they're always going to want to share it with you.
Right.
And some people would even share their opinion, and if you don't take that advice, they're upset with you. So you need to learn how to choose your own people, how to surround yourself with a couple of people that understand where you're going, and they're willing to protect you to get to where you're going. They're willing to be that pillar of support, and more importantly, just surround yourself with the things that just keep you whole as an individual. Just understand those things and just stick with it. You don't owe anybody any explanation of how you intend to live your life. Just be true to your authentic self. This is me, and I'm fine. I'm not so bothered about how you how you want to define me. You know, just stay true to your authentic self and just do you. People are going to talk anyways. People are going to talk anyways. You just do you, and I feel those are the things that have kept me grounded for these years.
So would you
Yes,
say
please.
that these same things? Okay, let me not preempt you. Let me not preempt you.
Okay.
Rather, let me ask it as a question.
All right.
Like, so what are the mental or structural things or processes or that you put in place that has helped you recover and build?
That's a good question. What are the structural processes that I have put in place that have helped me recover and build?
Yeah, and in fact, not build, rebuild. Because you lost it, then you got to a point, you did not just even now rebuild one. You are now on 3.
The structural processes. So
Or mental. What was the mind shift? What are those things?
So I would say that some of them I'd mentioned earlier, which is just having a growth mindset,
Okay.
and
What's a growth mindset? Let's assume that we're dummies. What's a
Now,
growth mindset?
a growth mindset is just understanding, and it also speaks to the last answer that I gave, just understanding that you have to do this. You're going to be more. The wanting to be more, irrespective of where you are at the moment. You want to put yourself in spaces where you can be more. You want to read the things that would give you the knowledge that you don't have. So those are the things, personal development. What do you read? What do you listen to? What do you feed yourself with? Are you the kind of person that you're constantly binging on Netflix when you want to build a business?
Or celebrity gossip.
Or celebrity gossip. So you need to choose your lane, and that's what growth mindset is all about.
Right.
And the moment you're able to realize that what brought you here cannot take you there, then you begin to figure out the things that you truly need because you want to be successful. What are the things that people that are successful do to be able to get to where I was going? So I needed to go somewhere. I wasn't equipped to go there, and I needed to get all the knowledge that I needed to get to where I'm going. And that's what births the growth mindset for you. So it's all in your habits, in the kind of things you listen to, self-discipline, and how you just align all these things together to be able to move you from where you are and then take you to where you're going. What time do you wake up in the morning? And even when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do? What are those kind of things that you do? Do you wake up in the morning and go straight to social media and scroll for hours before you? So, so many things that I do. When I wake up in the morning, I go and work. I do my journaling. I do my meditation. I do my prayers. I go to work out for like about 2 hours, and then I'm reading an audio book. I'm feeding my mind constantly. So I'm expanding my mind constantly because of where I'm going. And there's some specific knowledge that I need to be able to have to be able to do that. And I think that's what births a growth mindset, because by the time you're able to see what people are doing, by the time you're able to align yourself with things that you're supposed to have and do, and then your mind begins to grow and you begin to not think small. You begin to not look at where you are at the moment. You begin to stay focused at where you're going.
So let's dial back a bit to the earlier years of Tantacom. And I know you mentioned that Beyond, you started this year.
Yeah.
So it's still in its early stages.
It's my
So you're
baby.
right. You're right to discuss what the early, should I say, first three to 6 months looked like before the launch of Tantacom and also before the launch. It's Beyond.
So, there was no lunch for Tantacom.
Well, it doesn't have to be like an
But
eventful launch.
I
But
know.
before the day it was announced to the world that
Okay. Together, it was a concert. and it was taking place in Ikeja City Mall. And yeah, it was a good event. And then one of the funny things that happened during that event is there was a person that we were told to work with, and we had had a prior issue with the person. Oh yeah, so there was a job that we did before then, and I think we had an argument with the person, and we just promised ourselves we're never going to work with the person again. And then so when we wanted to do this our Lagos Show Lagos concert, the convener had said, "That's the person that is going to handle my sound," and we were like, "No, we're not going to work with him." And then we had to contact him again, and funny enough, he he was from him that we did most of the jobs that we had with Lagos State government. It was through him that it came. Yes, I'm telling you, and that's why I always tell business owners. I mean, you see politicians, they're quarreling online today. They're at each other's daughter's wedding the next day. There's no enemy in business. There's no enemy because you can never even tell what God was to even use the person to do in your life. I'm telling you, back to back to back, all the jobs that we were getting from the government during that period, it was through him. I'm telling you. So
Wow.
it gave him the opportunity to see our capacity and what we could do in such a short period of time. And he was just like, I'm going to have to work with you guys. I do sound, and you guys are our project managers, and so I'll get the jobs, and you guys will just execute. And we're like, fine, yeah. And then I'm saying like maybe 20, 25, 30 jobs. It was a lot.
Wow.
Yes, yes.
From
And
someone
we became partners. Yes,
someone whom you had vowed
that we were never going to
never
speak to
to
him
work
again. I'm telling you,
just because of a bad experience.
just because of a bad
So,
experience.
of course, I feel like men hardly have this issue
Mm.
because men are logical and they don't fight the way you women fight.
They just can be too sentimental at times.
So it's nice that it's coming from you,
Oh yes.
and
Oh
your
yes.
partner, a woman.
Yes.
So I want us to rephrase it. I know this podcast is not just for women,
I-
but please, guys, hang on. We just need the ladies to catch a bit of lessons here.
Yeah.
How how can you tell women, or how can you teach women to suppress their emotions and put their goal ahead of it? Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I wear my emotions on my face.
Mm.
If I don't like you, you're going to know I don't like you. If I
Straight
can't
up.
stand you,
Mm.
you will see.
Mm.
You will see it on my face if
Mm.
I'm trying. Now, there are certain people that I struggle to work with.
Mm.
And my natural space would be like, I'll just leave you your space and
I
face
know.
my lane. But it's not good for business.
No, it's not.
So how can you encourage women
Mm.
to drive past that? Because
Mm.
just look at you. Maybe
I'm telling you.
the testimony you're praying for
I'm telling you.
is right at the corner
It's-
of that
it's-
person you don't like.
It's right there.
How do we do
Honestly.
it?
So I think as a business person, as an entrepreneur, also as a leader, you have to be objective. You have to. I've had to learn because I'm also always like that. I used to always be like that, but I've had to learn how to be objective. I've had to learn how to not be sentimental. I cannot afford to be sentimental. The times where sentiments try to creep in, I just check up instead. Honestly, I try to make logical decisions, especially when you have a staff strength of 20, 30 people. There's always going to be office politics. There's always going to be one person trying to outshine the other. There's always going to be people are going to come and talk to make the right decision for the business. You are there, you're trying to steer the ship. And remember that these 20, 30 people that work with you or work for you are not just there as you also as a leader. I always want people. I feel that the people that work with us are with us to fulfill purpose. Now, my way, yes, that's my style of leadership, and I feel responsible for them. And so my decisions matter. I cannot afford to be a sentimental mother. I cannot afford to be a sentimental leader. So I have to always try to make the right decision objectively as much as possible. So while as a woman, you're womanly, you have to put that aside and you have to put on the logical cap. You have to always be logical about your decisions because there's so much at stake. If you don't make those decisions, you could lose business. And that's why at times it's been said that women are not allowed in some certain rooms. How much can you control yourself? How much can you so it's important for us to be you just have to learn it. It's something that we have to suppress and we have to learn it. And it's always worked for me. Every time there's a case that I need to look into, I'm objective. I'm objective. I'm thinking about the what's, the whys, critical thinking. I think all these things are very important when you're a leader.
So, what in your early years gave you a sense of this is working? I'm on the right path.
In my early years, well, when I started as an event planner, I really liked it. I didn't plan to be in. I never really wanted this lifestyle. Though. No, it wasn't something. No, that was not my plan.
What was your goal?
My plan before. Okay, so when I finished school, I had done my internship with Hewlett Packard. That's HP.
Okay.
And then I had worked at some point with Maersk Line. And so I just wanted to be a corporate, a corporate babe, with a high heel, boss babe,
Nice suit.
Yeah, and then, just grow. I didn't think that I was going to be an entrepreneur and, build multiple businesses and all of that. It wasn't in my plan. So, but one way or the other, I had to work in an events company. And then I was an executive director because of some of the experiences that I had. And then I just fell in love with the entire building process because I was, of course, one of the decision makers. And I just thought, so just going through experiencing that level of entrepreneurship, it became a thing for me. And it now became something that I really I wanted more of. And, gradually I just left that old thinking and then I just old dream and then I just thought that okay, I could do more, I could be more. I'd always wanted to be more. I think that's another thing. I always wanted I'm a very resourceful person. I've always wanted to solve for problems. I've always wanted to people just see me as if you have a problem, go to Jenny, it's going to be solved. If you give Jenny this issue to solve, you can go to sleep, she will sort it out. So I've always been that kind of a very dependable, reliable, and I've also grown to be someone that I was telling someone of recent. I think generally in life you have to learn how to be a fountain and not a drain. It's important that because so many times people are like, okay, how do I grow? How do I get to meet people? What do you do when you're around these people? Do you become another needy person? So those are some of the things that I'd learned from an early stage that I always want to provide value so that once you see me, you don't see me as a drain. You see me as someone that no matter what you have, I'm always giving you value, no matter how much you have and who you are. And that's why I've been able to surround myself with quite a number of people that have actually been sponsors for me in my life's journey. The foundational years of Tantacom was majorly referrals. It was beautiful. It was majorly referrals. When we were done with our Lagos concert, the work spoke for us. We were able to start working with the man I spoke about. And then we were able to do so many things. However, we've encountered times whereby we've had to pitch for jobs. We've encountered times where the jobs had been on the table and people were quite unsure because back then we were doing so many things ourselves. We didn't have the funding to get an office. We didn't have the funding to get the right people to work with us. We were doing everything ourselves. And so one of the critical areas that we left undeveloped was our digital footprint. So when you search for us, you wouldn't find anything. We were so busy with trying to deliver that we didn't, and we would brand people. We would work. Oh yeah, We would brand people. We would, package them. We would do all of
But
it.
you couldn't do it for
Oh, we
yourself.
did it. We weren't doing it for ourselves. Yeah, for many years.
I don't know why this always happens.
Seriously?
Oh, it's the norm.
I know it was just also.
Oh no! It's the norm. It's the norm. It's the people who do things for people struggle to do the same for themselves. Why? I don't know why that phenomenon.
So we had for many years, we had beautiful pictures. At times we even don't even take pictures of the events. Yes, it was that bad because we were always running up and down to get the event done and sorted out. At times we'd be, we'll be at the venue all through the night, and by the time we're just trying to get the job done. And so yes, we were blessed because our clients trusted us. We delivered excellence all the time, but nobody beyond our clients knew that we had that capacity.
Oh, right.
Nobody beyond our clients knew. So it was up until, and then because we were now busy doing all those jobs back to back to back. So it was just within those spaces, and people really didn't know. And then, so we had to really deal with all of that. We had to, at some point in time, we had to, of course, deal with it. We had to ensure that we got a photographer on site, a videographer on site, and ensure that we'll be gone to. There were times whereby a client will be in an office, and then a client will be like, oh, and show us some of the things you've done. And then, oh, please give us your Instagram page. And there was literally nothing on our Instagram page. I'm telling you. Yes, there was nothing. And we knew it was a problem, but we didn't know how to solve for it. And then eventually we were able to solve for it. And of course we have a full-blown media team. There's so many times that things even happen across all the brands and we don't even know. Once there's a content plan for the month and we approve it, and then, things just happen automatically and all of that, but there were times that we had to prove ourselves beyond what people could see. At times we had to, just show them pictures from our phone. Yes, and be like, we did this, and they're like, really? Are you sure? And then we had to really prove ourselves before we got those jobs. But I'd say that when
this is the importance of portfolio.
It's important.
Building a reel.
I know.
Documented.
I remember back then, before we could even put together a proposal. Of course, back then, putting together a proposal, you had to pay someone 250,000 naira to be able to
write
a proposal for us and all of that. And then even just being able to put together all the things that we wanted to do. Because the way Tantacom grew, while we started from being a project management company, we started working with Lagos State, and then we got so many briefs to do a whole lot more. And that was how the company kept on growing. So now we would get a brief that was 360. And then it meant that we had to do event designing. It meant that we had to do some publicity. It meant that we had to do some communications. It meant that we had to do some sensitization. It meant that we had to do some conceptualization of an idea. It meant that we had to do so many things. And then that was how we were able to begin to start the different departments and the different offerings that we had in Tantacom. Because we were running lean and we couldn't pay people because we didn't have money. Okay, we wanted to, and then so we had to do those things ourselves. We had to learn on the job. We had to get the certifications that we needed to get, just so that we could deliver on those projects.
Right.
So that was how we were able to start from being an events company and then also now grow into marketing, communications. And then we did these things ourselves. And then, of course, we had to get people to, of course, we had contract staff and all that. But essentially, ultimately, we were doing all these things ourselves.
So you were forced into that.
We were forced into
expand.
into expanding, into stretching. And we were able to get all those things done year after year and all that. And then it got to a point where we were like, okay, we needed to scale. And we kind of keep being everywhere at the same time because we were getting all the jobs and it was more than what we could handle. And then so we had to start building our team and then expanding our team and ensuring that all our core offerings are productized. Because you're now in the digital age And you don't want it to be just about every single person that wants to have conversations with you have to have a one-on-one with you or have a one-on-one with your team members. You want to get to a point whereby your services are scalable, they are accessible, and they can be automated. So that's the process, that's the stage where we're at right now. We're ensuring that everything is productized, automated, and you don't have to know anybody before you get anything done. You can easily just provide services for people without even getting to know them or getting to meet them.
I mean, it's huge. You've really obviously grown. You know, capacity is huge now, and you're still able to do multiple things in multiple industries. So this is communication, Culinara Group, food, and Thrive Beyond being a passion project, something completely different,
Absolutely
women
different.
for good. How do you manage this diversity?
I don't know.
I love the honesty.
I don't know.
I love the honesty.
Unfortunately for me, I just can't stop. So I think a couple of months ago, I think I had a conversation. A couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with you, and I had said that, when you find some people and you see that, they've been a lawyer all their lives. And that's the law, and it's beautiful. I mean, my mom spent 35 years working for the government. I mean, she grew, and that was what she was known for. And when you find yourself, I don't know, you just find that you're not able to stay fit in a box. You find yourself that you're always finding problems to solve for. You find gaps, and you just constantly want to fill those gaps. So you're restless.
Restless soul.
You're just restless. And even at the moment when you're telling yourself, I'm done. I am done. I'm not doing anymore. You find yourself just, this is a big problem. There's a gap. We can do this. We can do that. We can do this. You find yourself just wanting to do and be more. And I don't think it ever will stop. Of course, there's a thin line between all of this and just ensuring that you're not taking on too much so you don't get burnt out. But I think it's also important to understand, and I think you were even able to explain that to me, that you're a generalist. You're not supposed to just fit into a box. And because at times you question your identity.
Right.
You're like, there's this association, there's that association. You see that all your people from your past are in either one association or the other. And you're like, I'm not just this, I am also that. But I'm not just this and that, I'm also this.
I'm all of it.
I'm on all of it. And I need to begin to just own it and understand that, maybe I just wasn't born to fit into that box. And I'm just a generalist.
And that's what's beautiful about you.
That's my identity. And I just need to accept myself with who I am. And just own it and just stay true to my authentic self. And I think the most important thing is, if you're able to build yourself to have the capacity to solve these problems, can you provide a solution to these problems? Do you find a gap big enough that you can fill? If the answer is yes, then you can go for it and just do you.
I quite agree with you, 100%. And you did mention burnout, avoiding burnout. But I don't think burnout sometimes is inevitable. The question is, how do you manage it?
How do you manage it? So, I mean, so many times I feel burnout. I do. I feel it.
What do you do? How do you manage it?
No.
And you still won't stop.
I don't stop.
So how do you manage it?
I don't stop. So, and that's why I love the fact that I'm not alone in this.
Okay, great.
I love the fact that I have a partner who is my friend, who is my sister. We've just grown and we just have that bond. And because of that collaboration and that trust and that pillar that I find in her, we're able to share some of these burdens. I have someone that I can talk to and that I can be myself with. conversations that I really cannot have with people. So when I'm burnt out, I just pick up the phone and she just gives me about an hour and I just talk for an hour. And I'm just breaking. And I'm just like, tired. Why am I even doing this? Why am I this and that and that and that? I'm not even doing it again. I'm not doing it again, and then I just go on and on and on and on and on and on. And then in that same vein, I'm like, well, I mean, I should thank God that we're where we are. Thank God that, even though we don't, and then another thing that helps me after having that, conversation, and we're able to just encourage ourselves, especially in Christ, and just realign and all of that. Another thing that really helps me out is wellness. I am very big on, working out actually helps me.
Okay.
Yeah, it helps me. It just helps me feel, at times it's still there, really, even though I'm done working. In fact, at times working out even adds to the pain. At times I'm like, let me just be honest. At times it works for me, but there are times that it doesn't always work for me. There are times where I'm like, you know what, I'm so at my wit's end that I cannot even allow for me to start limping. I don't want to add limping from a deadlift to how I feel. I just want to go for a walk. I just want to go for a walk, and then when I'm on that walk, I'm able to listen to some certain things. I'm able to maybe listen to some worship songs. I'm able to and then I just feel better. And then myself and my partner, we pray, feel better. And then you're able to just get that strength to be able to carry on and all. So I do feel burnt out a lot. I feel it a lot. And those are some of the things that helped me.
Talking through it does it for you.
It does it for me.
Working out does it for you.
It helps.
So it's really about listening to your body.
Yes, you have to listen.
In short, take a break.
Take a break.
If it's 1 hour to rant, do it.
You need to take a break. You need to take a break. It's important. You just need to, I mean, a couple of days ago, I felt burnt out, and I just said, we had meetings. I said, any meeting until tomorrow. I just want to go home, stay under my tree, and watch TV. I want to do that thing that I don't like. I think I'm not supposed to do, because, I just want to just open plantain chips, take a bottle of Coke. Yes, I want to drink that Coke. And I want to eat a bottle. I want to finish a whole pack of plantain chips, and I want to watch a movie on Netflix. I know that at times we might say we want to do this big thing, and you're not even able to achieve it yet. It doesn't mean you're not thriving. I feel that those little things, even in terms of a change of habit, you say you want to stop drinking Coke, and you actually do it consistently over and over again, you are thriving, honestly. And because I feel women or humans generally, we don't appreciate ourselves enough. There's always so much pressure on wanting to be this and wanting to be that, just like you've said, the kind of responsibilities that we have, and we don't get to celebrate ourselves. And I feel that if you're a woman, to identify or to define a thriving woman is a woman that has set a certain goal for herself, no matter how small it is, and has been able to achieve that goal. And then it can compound over time. A woman that understands where she is, understands where she's going, understands that these are the couple of things that she needs to do to get to where she wants to go. And gradually she's achieving these things one after the other. The little baby steps, it's a thriving woman. Because we get to put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and I don't like it. I know the kind of pressure I get to put on myself. Societal pressure. The society expects you to be like this. You're supposed to have these qualifications.
You live for the world.
You live for the world. You're supposed to have an office before you can start a business. You're supposed to have it all together. No, you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have it all together. As long as you have that will, and you have the drive to want to achieve something, and you go for it, and you begin to achieve it little by little, then you are a thriving woman. you are a thriving woman. And that would always compound. The moment you stick to that plan and you repeat it over and over and over again, and you're able to set a certain goal and you're able to surpass that goal and you set on a bigger goal, then it becomes constant in your life. And then you can truly own that name. But for whatever it is that you do, no matter how small it is, you are a thriving woman and you deserve your flowers. You deserve your flowers.
I can see the passion.
Yes. I'm speaking from experience. That's why you see me.
Passion.
You know,
You're clearly very passionate about this. And just out of curiosity, what would you like to be remembered for, personally and professionally?
Right. So personally, I want, when the name Jennifer Odufuwa is mentioned, I want that name to be a name that has impacted lives. I feel true success is when you're able to impact lives. And also in the way in which I've been able to impact lives, I believe, the name of this podcast is Idea to Empire. I believe an empire is not a building. It's not, because when you think of an empire, first thing that comes to mind is there's a building and it's massive and it has this, it has that, it has this. Yes, there's so many elements to me. I want the world to see the different elements to me of what comprises of who Jennifer Odufuwa is and the lives I've been able to touch, the things I've been able to do, and how people have been able to be impacted by the things I've been able to do. I want to be able to, and business-wise, you asked business-wise.
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
I want the businesses, the businesses that we do. Tantacom is like a foundation for me. In Tantacom, I was able to build myself. With Tantacom, I've been able to stretch myself, my capacity. Tantacom has grown me. Tantacom has stretched me. Tantacom has built me. It molded me. It made me understand that I could grow. Strive Beyond is my blood. It's my life. It's my way to just give back and be able to connect with people from the ways in which I've been able to grow generally. Culinara for me is my expression. I feel I'm able to also just express some of the things and the ways that I feel through Culinara. I mean, it's redefining the food ecosystem through competition rather, through conversations and through media. And I feel it's a very expressive brand. I feel that it's a very expressive company, and all the expressions of it. It's just expression for me. And so I really want, in terms of my brand, in terms of my companies, I want people to see that we're able to fill the gaps within whatever ecosystem that we are. I want them to remember Tantacom for a company that's been able to redefine the way people see the government. We work a lot closely with the government, and we've been able to do so many projects with them in projecting even the way the government is generally, and most of the projects that we've done are impactful. There's they have socio-economic impact for people generally and all of that. So I really want people to see my business as such, and Thrive Beyond as such, and Culinara as such. Yeah.
This is interesting. So, not much thinking.
Okay.
Let's do a quick pulse check.
Okay. A pulse
No
check.
overthinking. First thing that comes to your mind. Strategy or creativity? What leads your decisions?
Strategy.
Ah, you're so quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Most underrated skill that you have in business?
Creative. No, I don't know.
Most underrated.
Most underrated skill
Okay,
in
generally.
business.
Most underrated skill in business.
What is it? I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
Skip.
Let's skip.
A mistake that made your work better.
Overthinking.
Oh, interesting.
Overthinking.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, complete the sentence. To thrive in Nigeria, women need more of dash.
More opportunities. Yeah.
Fair enough. One word you hope people associate with your name.
Impact. Impact. It has to be impact.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay.
Are you not going to score me?
5/5. 5/5. Okay, so we have a tradition on this show.
Yes.
Where see, I'm looking for my book.
Okay.
So the last guest has a question for you.
For me. Okay.
And also has a word that they would like you to express from your understanding.
Okay.
So I'll read out the word first,
Okay.
then you express that, then I ask you their question,
Okay.
you answer that.
Okay.
And you're also going to do the same for our next guest.
Okay. All right.
Even though I think
interesting.
you're about to cheat on this.
Ah!
So the word here is reliance. What does reliance mean to you?
Reliance. Well, reliance means when you depend on someone. So I would have a two way to answer that question. Two answers to that question. Two different answers to the question. First of all, is because I am in partnership with someone for I'm a co-founder for two of my businesses. I feel that I love to rely on my partners. I love to know that I have dependable people that can do this if I'm not able to do it. So for my business. I love reliance. I love that. I love to depend on my people. I love to depend on my team. And that's why it's important for you to hire right so that you can have the kind of team that you can depend on. So I love that. But I'm also of the opinion that um, in raising my kids, I've raised them not to be too reliant on people. I've raised my kids to always try to be independent and not dependent on people. So generally, as an individual, I don't like to be dependent on people. I love to be independent. I love to make my decisions independently when it comes to my personal life. What I want to do is what I want to do. But when it comes to my business, I love that dependency. I hope.
Interesting.
Yes, it's interesting. So
It's like a dance.
it's like a dance.
Right.
It really depends on
The situation.
the situation and what perspective we're looking at it from. So that's what it really means to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So the question here is, what would you do when you're down to your last dollar with a failed business? Oh my God, this question is so apt for you. What would you do when you are down to your last dollar with a failed business?
I would go back to my database of all the people that I know. I'll go back to my phone book. I'll pick up my phone and I begin to call from A to Z. I begin to call everybody again. Hi, my name is Jennifer Odufuwa. I am XYZ. What problem can I solve for you? Hi, this is Jenny here. I'm available. What problem can I solve for you? I have this value. I know that this is going to be valuable to you. Let me come and see you. Let me come and have a meeting with you and let's discuss it. Where are you? I'm coming there right now. So I'm going to build myself back up. I'm going to call everybody on my phone and I'm just going to build the pieces of my life back up one at a time. I can never be scared of going broke because I know that I've done it before by the special grace of God and I can do it again.
Wow.
Yes.
Profound.
Yeah.
Profound.
I mean, I'm not.
Now it's your turn to do the same for our next
Okay.
guest.
Okay.
You're going to write a question for the next guest, and
Okay.
you're going to write a word that you'd like them to express. So this is something that clearly you're going to do silently.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, you'll sign off from this show. You're going to give us a phrase or a proverb in your native language
Oh my goodness.
that speaks to your philosophy on life or business.
Okay. All right. I'll use this time to think about that.
Thank you very much. So, in your language, in your language, you need to tell us a phrase or a proverb. Or you could just cast your mind back to something you remember recently.
So, okay.
Someone,
Something my mom always says.
yeah, that speaks to, or that just means something to you. But maybe don't let me give you the pressure of speaks to philosophy on life or your business, but something profound that, but it needs to be said in your local.
So many philosophies. Of course, I have so many philosophies, but I'm trying to know how to say them in my local language.
Okay, what's the most profound philosophy for you? In you can say that in English, then you still have to say something in Yoruba, I believe.
Because I'm thinking of how to say it in Yoruba. Okay. So, um,
A saying, an adage, something, one of your favorite lines from one of your aunties. From you have to speak Yoruba on this show. You gotta say something in your local language.
okay, so something I want to say. There's so many of them, but I think
You know, it's very interesting that when you are talking to yourself on what should I say, what should you are saying Yoruba, just speak it into the mic.
Maduro ki ojo da kotojo
Okay.
kọ́ bí o ṣe máa ṣe jó nínú òjò.
You're interpreting literally, correct?
Well,
What are you trying to say? What's
don't wait for the rain to stop before you dance. Learn how to dance.
in the rain?
There's just never going to be a perfect time to do whatever you want to do. Just do it irrespective of where you find yourself. You don't know what's happening.
So it's not like I can help you to
Really?
interpret it in
Don't help
Yoruba.
me. Don't
Even
help
if I
me.
tried, I probably wouldn't be able to. But and quite frankly, it's also one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I just feel like we need to encourage a bit more of language adoption, you know. So yeah, you tried. Literally, what you said in
Yes.
English is what you tried to say in
tried to
Yoruba.
say it in
But I
Yoruba.
don't know that that is how Yoruba would have phrased it. They probably would have used a completely different adage.
I know.
But I think we can let you
Just
pass
manage
for
me
now.
like that.
We can let you pass for now, and it's been incredible having you here.
I'm so
Thank you for
honored.
your
I had
time. Thank you
such a
for
great time.
sharing. Thank you for sharing so openly.
Yeah.
I'm sure the audience will be very thrilled to learn so much from you. You gave us mini master classes, while talking, and I deeply appreciate your presence here.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. And I love this show. I love this podcast.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
I
you,
do. I
thank
do.
you. We just heard from the amazing Jennifer Odufuwa. It's amazing what pain can birth. So if you're going through anything right now, just look at her and know that you can stand, you can do it, and most importantly, you can thrive. Remember, real stories, real strategies, real successes. That is how empires are built. And this has been Idea to Empire.